Welcome back to the Why So Serious podcast. Brandon and Mike and Devin are back, and we also have Big Mike here today. And we are here to start our Road to Infinity War series by going back and revisiting all the Marvel movies in chronological order. And today we are going to start with Captain America, the First Avenger. Captain America, the First Avenger was directed by Joe Johnston. It came out in 2011. Steve Rogers, a rejected military soldier, transforms into Captain America after taking a dose of his super soldier serum. But being Captain America comes at a price as he attempts to take down a warmonger and terrorist organization. So I guess I'll start with you guys with this question. We'll start with Big Mike. Since you're a special guest again today, what were your thoughts of this movie at the time when it came out?
I don't know. Well, first off, thanks for having me back on. I love being here on the Star Wars podcast, so it's good to be back on for this one. When it first came out, I don't think I saw it right away. I think I saw it maybe at least 6 months, probably a year after it came out. The first time I watched it was on Netflix, so whenever that came out is when I watched it. And I was telling Mike earlier, I fell asleep when I first saw it. It was probably because I was watching it at like midnight and I was just chilling in bed trying to find something to do. But watching it again, I just realized how many things that I missed the first time I watched it. I didn't mind the movie. I think it was pretty good. I don't think it was the best Marvel movie that I've seen. There was still some things that I would change and some things I didn't really like about it. But overall, I didn't think it was too bad.
Mike, go ahead. What did you think about it at the time?
I remember at the time there was a lot of talk. Obviously, I remember at the time the only movies that had come out had been, I think, Iron Man, the Hulk movie, and then I think Thor. I think this was the first movie before the Avengers, and I remember everyone, all the speculation was that this movie is just rushed. It exists to serve to fill a bunch of plot points between, for the Avengers movie. Like that was what was going on at the time. And watching it again yesterday, I agree with Mike. It's nowhere near the best Marvel movie. It's not the worst. I really just feel like it serves a purpose. It introduces a bunch of concepts. It talks about it's a lot of firsts in it. First Infinity Stone, brings Captain America to I really just feel like this film serves a purpose. Obviously, there's a lot of things wrong with it. There's a lot of things good about it too. But yeah, it's just kind of okay for me.
And Devin, what do you think?
I think at the time I didn't even really care about it because I'm not a really big Captain America fan. I was just like, whatever. So I saw it. And I tried to look at it again and again and again, and I got through it like 7 times trying. I pieced it together, and I guess I saw some of the movie, but then rewatching it yesterday, I missed a lot of parts. So it was definitely better than I remember, but nothing to write home about. Got a lot of critical things to say about it. We'll get into it, though, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But I think Chris Evans is a great Captain America, though.
He is Captain America.
Yeah.
I agree.
That was one of the things I was going to say. But yeah, at the time, I enjoyed the movie mostly because I like Chris Evans and I love Haley Atwell. So, I enjoyed that part of the film. I think there were some things in here that were a little off, and it was kind of a slow movie. Compared to some of the ones that we see nowadays, it's not as action-packed, I guess you would say. But the movie did a lot to set up this universe. And I guess I'll say this, though. My biggest takeaway from this film was that, like, this film really shows you, like, why Captain America is Captain America. And, like, why he is the heart of the Avengers. Why it's similar, like, even though he's not have superpowers, he's like the Superman of the Avengers. Like, he is the beacon of light. He's the hope. He's the heart of the team. Which I'll talk about later of why DC fucks up so bad compared to this. But This film shows that like why Captain America belongs on the Avengers. Like he has super soldier, so he has some superpowers, but he's not like the rest of the team. Like so, but this film sets up from the first time you see Skinny Cap in the beginning of the movie of like why he is the guy that he is. So I thought that was really great about this movie. So Mike, what'd you think about the Red Skull as a villain?
I don't like him as a villain. I mean, well, no, I like him as a character, but he reminds me of Brandon. This is Brandon's favorite catchphrase: mustache twiddling, like really over. I think he was a little over the top, and I think his makeup, or I don't know if that was CGI or a mask or how they did that, but
that was everything.
It was good.
It was good.
Well, you liked it?
You're a hater.
That was for 2011. That was really
That's
good.
I guess I forget. I don't know how long ago that was.
2011 is 7 years ago, Mike. You gotta realize that.
Yeah, he's corny though. I'm just saying. I feel like he's corny.
What? Man, all right. I'll let you have that. That shit's crazy.
Big Mike, what'd you think about Red Skull?
I'm inclined to agree a little bit with Mike. I mean, my favorite kind of villains are kind of. My favorite villain of all time is Heath Ledger's Joker because one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think he really pieced it together. Where he is just like this. I'm really evil for the sake of being evil, and I'm going to take over a cliche villain.
Like, what's his purpose?
Well, he got to understand, the point of the Red Skull is that the Red Skull is a Nazi. So, I would be pissed off at Marvel if they tried to give me a reason to reason with a Nazi. Like, I agree with what you guys are saying in general, because most of the time you want a villain that has like some complexity to him, and some things that you can like grasp to, and you can kind of see where he's coming from, but he kind of went the wrong way and stuff like that. But like the Red Skull's a Nazi, so like there's nothing good about Nazis, so there shouldn't be anything good or compelling about the Red Skull. He should be an evil ass, for no good reason person, which is exactly what Nazis are. And
but they don't really talk like you. We know that obviously because we know more. I feel like than the general public would, but they don't really.
No. I am interjecting.
They kind of do.
They do, but they can't. It's not their fault though. They really can't. Like it's really hard to talk about that kind of stuff in movies because of all the like. Because if you have like a swastika film video game, you can't distribute it. Like, my point is, we know he's a Nazi, and like I'm sure everyone knows he's a Nazi, but like they sort of get away from it because they can't really. It's not their fault. They can't talk about.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Terrible people. Like the one credit that I will give towards Marvel in developing that character was when the Doctor was like, yeah, this serum amplifies everything about you. So, like, in Captain America, it amplified all the good things and, like, his integrity and his righteousness and obviously strength. But, like, with an evil person, it amplified evil, which kind of explains why he was just this super evil for no good reason kind of person.
Like, y'all not seeing it come up, man.
Yeah, but they also talk about it in a way that's like refreshing to see it. Like I don't think I'm really big on the Twitter and stuff and like politics and stuff. And there's this in 2016 and 17, there was like this whole thing of like, is it okay to punch a Nazi or like should it be okay to punch a Nazi in the face? And like they were writing articles in newspapers and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself the whole time like, there's a whole comic book character whose whole point of being created was in 1942 to go to Germany and punch Nazis in the face. And that's all he did throughout the entire comics. So, like, why are we asking this question? And so then I watched this movie, and this was in 2011, and there's a scene in the movie where the dude from the army says, do you want to go kill Nazis? Like he asked that question because Nazis are horrible. So, yes, I want to punch Nazis in the face. Yes, I want to go over there and kill those Nazis. Yes. And so I think that the Red Skull, I think you guys are correct in that he's not a very complex villain at all. But I think that is I'm glad that they went that route because he needed to be an evil-ass person with no redeeming qualities at all. Because if let me tell you something. If I write a movie where I try to give Nazis redeeming qualities or try to make you feel something for a Nazi, that's not going to go over well.
Well, I don't want him to have redeeming qualities. I'm just saying it was just. I just felt he was a little goofy. That's all.
Well, he was absolutely goofy. He was absolutely goofy. But this is what we always talk about, Mike, and why. This is why I always say that Marvel movies, why they get it and why they do so well is they embrace the comic books. They embrace. That's another thing I wrote down is that they completely embrace the source material and embrace the comic books. They make some tweaks and changes for the modern time and to put on film, but they completely embrace the ridiculousness of comic books and puts it on film. The idea that a man would take this serum and it would burn so much that his face turns that color red and then he walks around like that even though he could possibly wear a mask because he's so fucking evil is absurd. However, it's just as absurd as a fucking dude who you don't know his name or where he came from or anything about his backstory walking around with green hair and a white face paint and just living in a city somehow for years and years and years, and it being okay. Like it's absurdity that they embrace, and that's why The Dark Knight was so good, and why these Marvel films are so good is because the Red Skull is ridiculous. He's a ridiculous character, but they played to that, and they gave him some to make him more scary. They said like he's the head. He said the Hydra is the Nazis' tech wing or whatever scientific wing, and he's the head of it.
Rogue Science Division,
which makes him a really, really, really super smart person, and it gives him some more agency to say like this guy's not the person you want to fuck with. Devin, go ahead. I know you've been trying to get in.
My man literally said, "Fuck Hitler's plan. I got this shit, yo." Y'all forgot that whole part.
He did say that.
Like, fuck the Fuhrer. Like, yo, Red Skull said he's more evil than Hitler. Like, really? Like, and that's who you saying like he's ridiculous? That motherfucker know what he wants. He said, I'm gonna take this whole shit. So I fuck with Red Skull because if you're gonna be evil, be all the way evil. Say, I'm gonna be evil than the motherfucker behind me, and that's Hitler. He put Hitler beneath him. Think about that shit in context.
He definitely did do that.
That's true.
He was pretty badass. And this set up Hydra going forward because not too long after this, we got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the whole fight with Hydra, and it kind of gives you a background on the Hydra character. So speaking of that, one of my favorite parts of this movie is Peggy Carter and Haley Atwell. I love Agent Carter. I love the show.
I didn't watch it. Is it good? Is it worth watching?
I like the show. It got canceled, but I enjoyed the show a lot. And I love her, so maybe I'm biased, but I really enjoyed the show. So what did you guys think about Agent Carter's role, especially given the fact that this takes place in 1942?
Who are you asking? I mean,
anybody jump in.
I like Peggy Carter is a great character. Haley Atwell is a fantastic actress. I like Peggy Carter a lot. I like the Captain America Peggy Carter dynamic.
Yeah.
Also like the Peggy Carter Howard Stark dynamic. I think she was really good at interacting with other characters, which is awesome. She's fun to watch. She was probably is she the first Marvel like dominant female character? I think she is.
Nah, I'd say
no.
It's Pepper, but I don't know. I don't know. She's not as Pepper Potts doesn't have as much of an impact.
In the original comics, she didn't have this role. Like this was kind of later, like in the 70s when they brought Cap. Well, Cap came back in the mid 60s, but he got created in the 40s. Then he went away for a long time. Really didn't make Captain America comics. Then he came back in the Avengers when they got him from being frozen in the mid 60s. And then Agent Carter kind of got like some agency at that point. But Captain Marvel was probably one of the first, like, or Sue Storm, really. Sue Storm was kind of a damsel in distress.
I meant like in the cinematic universe.
Oh, in the cinematic universe. I mean, yeah, Pepper, but she's not really a fighter per se.
Yeah. Why did Peggy Carter's show get canceled? Just question. I don't.
So Agent Carter got canceled for two reasons. One, she got another show that she went and did, but two, because they had planned on doing a different type of. It didn't get picked up by the ABC. So they still. I've heard rumors that on this Disney streaming service that they may bring that show back, and keep doing it. But the show was really cool, especially with how it tied into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it was kind of like, because the show was so Devin didn't watch the show, but the Agent Carter show was basically telling you, like, after so spoiler alert, Captain America crashes in the plane at the end of this movie. So basically the show picks up like right after that when they get back to America.
Oh, cool.
And it shows how like Agent Carter's working for the what is that shit called? The
Shield?
No, it's not called. That's the point. It's not called Shield yet. It's called SHA or HSA, something, whatever it's called. SSA. It's called the SSA, and basically how she helped create Shield. So she's basically the founder of Shield, and the show is telling you how it went from the SSA, which is what you saw like with the secret rooms and all that stuff, and then turned into the Shield that we know today. So that's what the show was about.
My daddy was telling me that one of the black dudes that was fighting with Cap is Mac's grandfather or some shit like that.
Who?
From Agent. One of the
oh yeah, Mac's
Devin's
grandfather.
right.
Yes,
One of the Howling
Commandos. Yes,
yeah,
he's Mac's grandfather. Yep.
Shout out to my pops though.
So yeah, that was really cool.
Well, Howard Stark and the Howling Commandos were involved in S.H.I.E.L.D. too. Weren't they all in Peggy Carter, the show, Agent Carter?
The Howling Commandos were there, but they weren't. It wasn't S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. That was the whole point of the show. It was telling you what led up to the creation of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they never got there. So
I didn't watch it either. I should watch it at some point. That's like the only thing in the whole cinematic universe I haven't watched.
Yeah, I loved Agent Carter. So what do you guys think about the special effects in the film? I really thought for 2011 that it was pretty good, and I think the best special effects in the film was doing skinny Chris Evans, because
oh man, how good is that, right?
Like the idea that it's just like it's funny. It's funny looking at it from our perspective because we know Chris Evans is fucking jacked. But if you take that part out of your mind and just look at it, you're just like, how the fuck did they do that? But it was like really cool for them doing that.
Oh no, it's cool. It's saying like you have to go with it. So I mean, if you're just trying to just like enjoy the film, you have to go with it. But like, it's hilarious, like because you can clearly see like his head's like, hold on, this doesn't match. But it's fun. It's fun to see. And then like, my dad actually thought it was real. So like, I was like, I don't even know how to approach that. So green light for him, man. In 2011, he gets a green light, stamp of approval.
Big Mike, what do you guys think?
We thought it was hilarious. I mean, both then and now. I think it's funny though because his head, like, if you look at like a person, the proportions there were off.
Completely off.
It's like action figure size.
Yeah, he looks like a toy.
It's like you swap one Lego head on a different body or something like that.
I said this earlier. I want to meet whatever, like, the person who stood there as the body, or like the body that they used. I want to meet that guy who's running around saying, "Yeah, I was in Captain." Like that was me up there, from the neck down.
No, they didn't use a body. They used CGI. I read an article about it.
The whole time?
Would they just shrink his body to like?
They made his body and then they use CG to make him skinny.
Oh wow,
it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. If that's what they did, then good on them.
Yeah, it was.
Like, see, I told you. Still of a
I don't think they would have just kind of copied and pasted.
That would have been
frame by frame. Chris Evans' head on a different body.
That wouldn't have been that hard. The body had did all the scenes, and then you just take his face and put it. I don't know. It's funny. I mean, I don't have any problems with it. There's no other way to do it.
So this series is all leading up to the Avengers Infinity War while we're doing this, and the big part of Infinity War is the Infinity Gauntlets and the Infinity Stone, and we basically get the Cosmic Cube in this film. So how do you guys think they did? Do you think the guys did a good job of introducing the Cosmic Cube? I kind of liked. I mean, I saw it and I was like, "Oh, look, he's weaponizing it. That's interesting." But I don't. That's one of the things I had an issue with the film. I don't think they. But I kind of think they did it on purpose. But I don't think they fully really explained what it was. But I think because we're watching it in this order, it might be a little bit different. Because I do think they talk about it in Thor, because that was supposed to be one of Odin's, like one of the things in Odin's collections or something like that.
I just want to say that, going back, this being 2011, and looking at it yesterday, man, I was so good. I was so glad my man Walter Frey got again. And Mr. Anderson from The Matrix is one of my favorite, villains in a movie. And just to see my man work out Walter Frey again, that shit was everything to me. So I was hyped about that. But yeah, the little holocron thing, like it's just crazy to see. Because I really don't really fuck with that shit like that. Like I don't really know that much about it. So to know why they didn't weaponize it, like I was mad at the soldiers for not picking up the blue fucking weapon. Yo, if you see somebody get disintegrated, pick that fucking weapon up.
They did pick him up.
Like, no, not a lot of them. That's what I'm saying. Like, This is bullshit. And then, like, when they were the whole group and they stormed the room with guns, fuck them guns. Like, I was upset about that part. And then I was just thinking, like, how come we don't got blue guns in the future right now? We should still have them goddamn holocron or those fucking cosmic cube fucking guns. And I'm upset. I don't know why.
So basically, yeah, before Mike and Big Mike go, just to give the audience some background, may not know, the Cosmic Cube is an item that can control matter and energy, answering to the will of the sentient being that uses it. They require practice to be used properly, but a skillful user can alter all reality to answer to his thoughts, granting anything they desire. So that's basically a summation of the Cosmic Cube, or in the MCU, I think they call it the Tesseract. So Big Mike and Mike, what do you guys think about the introduction of the Cosmic Cube, how they used it, and their explanation of it?
Yeah, I think after seeing all the movies, like in whatever order, trying to like rewatch them with a fresh mind is definitely difficult. So it was kind of hard for me to forget that is the Tesseract and the Infinity Stone and whatever. But I don't think they really explained at all what it was, but I kind of like that. I kind of like the mystery to it, as like towards the end of the movie, like Howard Stark is trying to figure out what the hell this thing is. Like, how do we use it? How do we harness the power? Like, how did these Nazis like create all these crazy weapons and like technologies so far advanced from everyone else? So I kind of like that mystery, and it kind of, for me, it was like, this is something that's going to be important later on in the movie. This isn't just some random thing that's going to be unique to this movie that was just going to be forgotten about later on. So I kind of liked it.
Especially when it falls through the plane. The plane, and then at the end of the movie, you see Howard Stark getting it back. So you know that that's going to be important going forward. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I mean, I like that it's a mystery, especially because, like, I remember at the time, up until the Avengers movie came out, I still didn't know anything about the Cosmic Cube and it being an Infinity Stone until the post-credit scene of the Avengers, when I was like, all right, I'm going to do some research, figure out what's going on here. And that made that sort of, like, reveal a lot more worth it. Not knowing. Also, they really couldn't. There's no way they can explain it in this movie because none of the humans know what those Infinity Stones are. I mean, they still don't know now. Like, if you go to the current times of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, the only one that really knows is Doctor Strange, and that's it. And that's way in current times. So I don't mind that they don't explain it, and I liked it. It's fine. I mean, they don't use it too much. It's very central, and it sort of introduces the concept from the very beginning, but without ruining too much of what's to come.
Right, and towards the end, they showed, when Red Skull grabbed it and went into, I guess he went to space or whatever, I don't know, he went to the cube or whatever, and they showed, cosmos and stuff like that. That was pretty cool, because then you got to say, like, well, obviously it's a power that they don't understand. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then,
yeah, he's definitely taking the Chinese order right now.
Honestly, I don't.
He's so professional.
My mic was on mute, so you guys should have kept talking.
I mean, he did keep talking.
Yeah, we did keep talking.
I know. You're supposed to ignore me.
All right, well,
so
bad on us.
So unprofessional.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, I was listening to everything you guys were saying now. Okay, so Do you guys think they did a good job of building up to the Avengers? Even in the context of, we are watching it in a different order, but in the real order, we already saw Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, and Thor. So, given that,
is it the bad Incredible Hulk? I don't remember.
No.
Which one was that?
That one wasn't part of the MCU. So there's only one Incredible Hulk movie that's technically a part of the MCU.
Yeah, that other one was so weird. It had like Hulk dogs in it. You remember that? You ever see the old one? No, that shit.
We knew they were horrible. We all knew they were horrible. So.
Yeah.
So did you think they did a good job of setting up the Avengers, Mike?
I kind of liked Edward Norton better. We'll talk about that.
Mike.
What?
Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Do you think this did a good job of setting up the Avengers?
Yeah. Like I said, I think it served, like at the beginning, this film serves a purpose, and that's what it was. Like it serves a purpose of sort of getting ready for the Avengers and explaining what you need to explain in anticipation of what's about to happen. I think if the Avengers wasn't coming out soon after that movie was released, that would have been a very different movie. So yeah, I mean, it served its purpose. It was fine film, So I don't know if
did anybody play that Captain America arcade game when you like?
Oh yeah, I love that game.
That shit was everything, man. I looked fucking with Vision so much, man. That was everything. Damn, Mike, I don't think you played that shit. You're too young.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How'd you like the fight scenes in the film? I thought they did an excellent job of showing all the shit Cap can do. And they've always got this down pat. They've done it ever since then, but his shield throws are always cool as shit. When he throws them off stuff or throws it at angles to bounce places, like that's the comic book shit that he does in the comic. That's the type of shit he does in the comic books, and they brought it to real life. So what do you guys think about the fight scenes in this film?
Yo, first of all, I don't know what the fuck that super soldier serum does, but my man, after he first got that shit, he was running barefooted through the streets of Brooklyn, and he ain't even getting nothing on his foot, yo. Fuck him for that shit, because he jumped through glass. I ain't like that shit. Everything else was cool, but you're not running through Brooklyn, all this shit, 1940-something, you jumping over shit, and your feet don't hurt? Come on, bro. I was upset about that. That's but I mean, other than that, yo, shit was, it was dope, man.
The fighting is fine for me. There's one scene that always bothered me ever since I saw this. Not even a scene. It's like a snippet of the whole film. And it's a scene when those two Hydra flame troopers are like surrounding him with fire. And it always bothered me because this scene is just to make it look so cool. Why didn't you just shoot him with it? Like, why didn't you surround him in fire? Why did you just surround him? Why don't you just come at him and Hydra, like the most like aggressive, brutal, like fighting in the world, and then make a cage around him, and he like.
What is that noise? What are you doing?
That's not me.
Devin?
Not me.
Oh, I hear something. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So I mean, the fighting is cool and stuff, but that I remember watching that, and that was literally for the trailer. It was for the trailer it's like one of the big like cool moments, and it was like. Yeah, it's really dumb to get annoyed over those.
Shoot his ass with the Blu-ray. Like, he would have been done. Move it over, you know what I mean?
I also, I did really enjoy the fighting scenes as a whole. Like, I think they were really well done, and it kind of made you feel super patriotic in a way, like watching all these American soldiers, like, kick the shit out of some Nazis. But, like, the only thing that obviously it's kind of dumb to say that it's far-fetched and not realistic. But it's like when they're shooting those like blue guns with the little bits of like the Tesseract in them, I don't even know what they were using. But it's like, why can it completely vaporize everything in the known universe except for the shield? Like, why can his shield?
That's completely explainable. So his shield is it doesn't vaporize everything.
Vibrating.
It doesn't vaporize everything because when they were shooting the tanks and stuff, it was hurting it, but it wasn't vaporizing it. It only vaporized people, and it was a head-on shot on a person that vaporized people. And the cosmic hue we learn further in the universe that like it's to the will of the person and what they can do and how powerful that person's mind is. So the people that shooting it couldn't really fully control it. to do those things. But his shield's made out of vibranium.
Which absorbs pretty much. It's the purpose of vibranium is to absorb impact like to the highest degree.
Yes.
Whether that's an blast or a punch or something.
I mean, in the comic books, it's half vibranium, half adamantium. But in the movie universe, since they didn't have the rights to adamantium, they had to make it vibranium. But vibranium in the universe can do that. So it's similar to like in Civil War when fucking helicopters shooting these missiles at Black Panther and it wasn't hurting him. Is because his suit was made out of a strain of vibranium. So I mean, it is ridiculous, but that's the canon of his shield, that it can block pretty much everything. I guarantee you we're going to see a scene in Infinity War where Thanos does some type of blast with the gauntlet and he blocks it with the shield. Like, we're going to see that because that's...
I also think the shield's going to break in Infinity War.
Oh, yeah, Thanos breaks the shield in the comic book, so we will see that. But it will block it for something.
Doesn't Stark have the shield right now, currently? I think he does.
Yeah, Stark has the shield. Yes, that's why.
If someone get that man a shield.
Yeah, that's why he says that in the film.
He gave it back at the end of the Civil War.
I'm sure Tony will give it to him. Obviously, he will.
So
there's one thing I will say though about the fight scenes, and obviously, you know, there's no choice. This had to be this way. But let's all be real here. The ending where he crashes the plane is the dumbest thing in the world. Like, obviously, it has to happen. It has to happen, obviously, for the plot. But like, you were over the Arctic Ocean, bro. You were like 2 hours from New York. You had a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Okay, how fast you're going?
There are several explanations, and Mike said this yesterday. I'm going to steal his line. He was like, "So Howard Stark found the cosmic cube at the bottom of the ocean somewhere, but that he couldn't find a downed giant
ass plane.
Whatever. Right? Yeah, you couldn't find that on the surface, but you found this tiny little cube in the ocean. Like, obviously, it had to happen, and you like, there's no way. I mean, maybe there was a better way to explain it. I don't know." But that's dumb. I mean, like, you had you had a lot of time to think of something. But again, you can't really complain about that.
How'd you guys think they did with Bucky? So as we watch this universe further, we'll eventually get to Winter Soldier and Civil War, where Bucky has the bigger role. But I think they did a good job of showing you how close Cap and Bucky were. And trying to set up that relationship. And this is where I want to get into my DC rant. Watching this film shows you that from the very beginning, Marvel had a plan. And Kevin Feige had a plan. And everything that we'll see in these upcoming movies, in Iron Man and even in Incredible Hulk in some of those movies, is part of their plan moving forward. And this film was another thing part of their plan. So the whole thing with building this relationship with Bucky, how Bucky dies, Cap going to save Bucky, like knowing they were going to do Winter Soldier, knowing eventually they were probably going to do Civil War, like all of that being planned ahead and having the idea of where they want to take the universe comes out very clear when you're watching this film. Even in the short term, with them building up to Avengers and the movies that followed that, they kind of had a plan and had an idea with what was going on. Whereas when you watch these DC films, like, you have no idea if anybody in that universe knows about anything that else is going to happen. Because when you watch Man of Steel, then you watch Batman v Superman, it's like those two people didn't talk to each other, even though it was the same damn director. Then when you watch Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman, those are like two different universes. And then when you watch Wonder Woman and watch Justice League, it's like, what am I watching? Like, it's all this convoluted stuff because there's no plan. And I think this film was a great example that Kevin Feige and Marvel had a plan from the beginning of what they wanted to do.
I will say about your Bucky question. I actually, when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge Captain America fan. I mean, I don't really read Captain America books, or even now.
The Captain America book, by the way, side note, the Captain America book in 2017, Captain America Steve Rogers and Captain America Sam Wilson, when Sam Wilson was Cap, those were my two favorite comic books of the entire year. That led up into, what was this thing called? Secret Empire. And I thought that was the best storyline in all of comics in 2017. And so if anybody wants to get into reading comics or wants to read anything about Cap, that storyline with Cap, Steve Rogers and Captain America Sam Wilson, they both will be written by Nick Spencer. leading up into Secret Empire really shows you like everything you need to know about Captain America and the moniker of Captain America, not just Steve Rogers, but the idea of what Captain America represents and what he should represent and what some people think he represents are two different things. And that comic book series really explains that. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I was just going to say, when I first saw this movie, I didn't know who Bucky was at all or what his significance was. And even after this movie, and we're not there yet, but we'll talk about this more when we watch The Winter Soldier. But when The Winter Soldier happened, and I'm actually a little proud of myself because usually, like, when there's big reveals in movies, I know what they are before that movie. Well, as soon as that movie's announced, you know, like, if the characters are in it, I can figure out, you know, the biggest reveal. I was sitting in the theater in The Winter Soldier, and when the big reveal happened there, I was like, oh, shit, I actually didn't know that was coming. Like, I'm genuinely, that was the first time I could ever sit in a movie theater, and I was genuinely surprised. Like something, and I probably should have pieced it together because, like, I could have found out who he was by Googling the name of the movie, like The Winter Soldier, Marvel, and I could have read his, like, alter ego or whatever, and I would have been like, oh, okay, that makes sense, I guess. But, so I didn't, and I kind of like that, you know, not going in a little bit less than, educated about the characters, and so that was, like, a cool moment for me, even though it was, like, Winter Soldier, but... So when he died and, like, his, you know, I didn't realize that was his sidekick, and, like, I didn't really realize how important that event was when he died, so I was just kind of like, all right, whatever, like, he's dead. Cool, like, moving on. And it ended up being, like, this big payoff, so that was cool for me.
Big Mike, what you think about Bucky?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Mike. I mean, obviously the first time I watched it, I fell asleep through most of the important Bucky scenes, and then went on to watching both. Realized, analyzing it. But yeah, I was with Mike when I heard about
You're breaking
Bucky,
up.
Who the fuck is Bucky?
There you go.
Like, I didn't really remember him. So, I mean, watching it again the other day, it was like, I think it did a good job of, like, being that kind of, this is my friendship and this is someone I look up to and now we're fighting together. And I thought when, like, watching it, it was going to be like when Bucky died and fell off that train. I thought that was going to be the kind of stereotypical cue for, like, Captain America to just, like, rage out and, like, this whole army by one, like, fueled with emotion and just kick the shit out of everyone. And I think that kind of plays a testament to Cap's character. Like, he didn't, obviously he was angry, but he was like, he didn't let his emotions for Bucky kind of change his personality, and I'm just going to fuck everything up, and just because you guys killed my friend. He was like, I need to do this because it's the right thing to do, not because you guys suck.
Yeah, so, Devin, what were some of the things you didn't like about this film?
Oh, man, I got you. 5 times, bro. You got rejected 5 times? And ain't nobody say shit 5 times? Shout out to him. And then Captain America is the campaign for anti-bullying. That shit pissed me off. Because, like, you're a little guy and you're still taking these hits. Like, does he have a fucking iron jaw when he's fucking 90 pounds? She pissed me off. Tommy Lee made the movie for me. Sorry, that's a little segue right there. I like that. Tommy Lee is awesome and everything he does. Is Captain America a virgin? Because no, first of all, Steve Rogers is a virgin, and then when he becomes Captain America, he was slaying bitches. He had to slay bitches, and I understand why Peggy was kind of like skeptical when she saw my man come around that corner, because my man had went on this whole United States tour. He was knocking bitches down. Had to be knocking bitches down. So I didn't know if he was a virgin or not, but that one secretary wanted to suck him dry. I put that in my notes. And then, like, Red Skull, man, like, my man had a mean leather game. I don't know if y'all peeped that shit, but every time he just had his Red Skull out, his leather game was, like, on some Givenchy or some, like, fucking Versace type shit. Shit was dope. I fuck with that. And then, the plane shit really pissed me off. Because my dad said this, right? When they were at the Hydra base or whatever, why didn't they just shoot the goddamn tires?
What are you talking about?
Oh, when Red Skull was taking off. When he was trying to leave the Hydra base. Why didn't they shoot the tires?
Of the plane?
Good point.
Yeah.
The fuck were they going to do to those big ass tires? Nothing.
If you shoot the goddamn tire, come on, man. Come on, Brandon.
Those big ass fucking plane tires.
Yo, those shits will explode. Yo.
It was the 40s. It was the 40s, though.
Excuse me. Did you not see the technology that fucking Hydra had? You think you were gonna be able to shoot his fucking tires? Are you kidding me?
They had that rubber.
Bullet's not doing nothing to those tires.
That bullet wasn't doing shit to those tires. A fucking bullet from a gun to those big ass tires.
Okay. All right. Well, fuck it. That's funny shit. Oh man. And then shout out to Red Skull for being like you said, Brandon. He is super smart because everything I've ever seen Red Skull does, he can pilot by him goddamn self. He don't need shit, yo. Red Skull be piloting everything. He has a license for a fucking weapons of mass destruction. One person. Like I remember when he took on New York City because I watched all the cartoons or whatever, the Avenger cartoons. My man Red Skull be jumping in everything, yo. And this movie just proved it again. Red Skull is the pilot of the fucking 21st century and beyond. Does Red Skull get frozen too? Well, how does that work? Does he live forever? What is Red Skull?
No, in the movie universe, I think he's dead. I think the Cosmic Cube killed him. But we may see him back after Infinity War. You never know. So the universe may change after this movie. But he's dead in the MCU currently. He's also dead in the comic books now too. But he's kind of a bad in the most recent form of Red Skull. He stole when Professor X died. He stole his brain and basically implemented his mutant powers into him. So the Red Skull basically became the most powerful telepath in the world. So he was really fucking with people at that point.
Wow!
And he had control of the Cosmic Cube. Which is how Steve Rogers became evil in the first place in the Secret Empire storyline. So yeah, this movie has some similarities to where he was in the most recent run in the comics, which happened like 6 years after this. But Mike, what were some of the things you didn't like or questioned about this film?
I didn't. I mean, I take this film for what it is. There wasn't a whole lot I didn't like about it. It didn't blow me away. I guess, I mean, also I kind of agree with most of what Devin said anyway, so I don't want to repeat anything. But I will say the whole, the only thing I didn't like, the biggest thing I didn't like was I just wish that the ending could have been better justified or better explained because, like, he had time to land. Like, you're sitting there, and then she's on the phone all dramatic with him, like, you owe me a dance, though. Like,
he didn't know how to fucking land. I thought that was the point. At what point?
No, it was a bomb.
No, but like, well, yeah, what he was saying, though, was, like, this is about to reach New York. Like, I don't have time to figure out any other solution. But, like, he also said earlier that they were, like, he was over the Arctic Ocean. Like, he had at least an hour or two. Like, he could have figured something out before, you know.
What was he going to do?
Like I said earlier, like, you can't, there's nothing to do. Like,
my dad said, turn that bitch around, yo, and go back to Europe and blow that shit up. I was like, oh, shit, that's fucked up. But
yeah, but I thought the whole point was he didn't know how to fuck. I thought the whole point was at one point, Red Skull, when the plane is going down, Red Skull comes over there and hits the switches and puts it into this different mode. And I thought the whole point was that Cap didn't.
No,
yeah,
autopilot.
Yeah, I thought the whole point was that Cap didn't know how to fucking fly the plane.
But he still took it down. You know what I mean? Like, he knows how to fly.
No, everybody knows how to take it to the ground. You press it forward. I can get in the plane right now and crash that bitch. I have no idea how to fly a plane.
If I'm on an airplane and the pilot gets unconscious and I'm the only one that's conscious, I'm going to go there and try to land it. I'm not just going to down it. I'm not going to give up. Like, I may not have to get the wheels down and everything, but maybe I could at least let it glide onto the ground.
Yes, but you're missing the point. It had fucking nukes on it. So if he fucking landed that shit on the ground somewhere and it crashed, it would still blow up the fucking world.
In New York, like at LaGuardia or some shit. But like, I mean, even if you put it in the water or something, like, you don't need to do it in the ice.
You were on the radio. Like,
but where was he going to put it in the water where it wouldn't fucking destroy shit? possibly.
Well, he just landed in the water.
He went down.
I mean, if he thought he was going to die anyway, then he could have at least tried to land it in the water.
I think you guys are all missing the point.
Nosedive it into the ground and parachute up.
You're all missing the point.
Take that shit back to Europe, son.
He's Captain America.
Yo, also, you got a point. Those little bomber things weren't in the back, and they were much smaller, and they had parachutes. So, like, he could have just aimed it at the bottom and got out in one of those bombers and then ejected his seat.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember before?
Do you know how hard it would be for him to make the plane go down, run all the way to the other end of the plane, get into the fucking bomber plane? No, you guys are missing the whole point. This film. All right, here's some film shit. They foretold what he was going to do earlier in the film. At the one point in the film where they're in training, before he becomes Cap, the fucking guy throws the grenade, and he's the only one that dove on it, where everybody else ran.
Right.
And his whole point was, I'm going to dive on this, and I'm risking my life to save everybody else's, no matter what it takes. The whole point of this was, if he would have crashed this plane anywhere near civilization, it's entirely possible that those bombs would have gone off and killed people. It didn't have to be Americans. It would have been any civilization. So the only place that it would have been safe for him to crash is in the middle of nowhere, which is the Arctic Ocean. So he crashed it. But he wasn't near the Atlantic Ocean. He was clearly...
He had to the Atlantic Ocean to get to New York.
But what would have been the difference if he crashed in the Atlantic Ocean? He still would have died.
It wouldn't have been in ice.
No, it would, but that wouldn't make any sense. Let me fly to the Atlantic Ocean and then die. Like, that makes less sense. And first, how is he going to get to the Atlantic Ocean? If he's up in the Arctic, he's probably coming down from north, not going back east. So he would have had to come down and then make a left from New York and go back out into the Atlantic Ocean, because he's coming from like above Canada somewhere, based on how the map looks.
No, because it was in
Switzerland. They were in Switzerland, yeah.
Yes, they were in Switzerland, coming north, up north. So the world is round. So he would have had to come down to get to the Atlantic Ocean. Like, that makes no sense. He crashed it right where he crashed it because there was no civilization anywhere nearby. And
they got some Canadians this time.
That makes, I don't know how you guys don't think that makes sense. That's exactly what Captain America would do. It's just like in any movie, like it's just like in Iron Man, and it's just like in Avengers when Tony flies up into space to get rid of the fucking bomb or whatever. It's because it wouldn't hurt anybody in fucking space. That was the point. What else didn't you like, Mike?
That was pretty much it. I mean, I don't really have any complaints with this movie.
You're nitpicking. Big Mike, what did you like?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, it was really just the ending for me.
I thought the ending made perfect sense. Like, I thought it was like perfect storytelling about exactly. It shows you why Captain America is Captain America. Because there was nothing he could do. What was Howard Stark going to fly out there and meet him somewhere while he's just an autopilot?
Howard Stark could have got on the radio and been like, "Yo, do this."
Yeah.
Howard Stark said earlier that he doesn't understand Hydra tech. Remember when he got this? Remember when Howard Stark got the submarine that the dude was trying to escape on, and they had the submarine they were working on, and he's like, I don't know how any of this works. Like, this is so far advanced of anything that we have. I don't know how this works. Like, he said that earlier in the movie.
Yeah, but it's still plain.
And that's just a submarine. Like, you don't
I'm
think
saying, like, Howard Stark knows how to fly a plane. What Cap crashed was essentially a plane. Like, it had plane controls. It's not like he had to do anything different than a plane to steer it or steer it to the ground. So,
except that it has nukes on it.
True.
Which,
all true. The nukes are the big thing.
Basically,
you're right. I mean,
what would happen is they would be taking a chance that Captain America does this perfectly with nukes on it. And Captain America goes, I'm not taking that chance. And so he crashes it in the ice.
I don't blame him for not taking the chance. I just think that it was a little over-dramatized because there was no way.
I agree.
Like, minutes away from New York, and that was his only option.
I agree, but you guys would make it seem like it wasn't a logical decision, and I thought it was it was the only logical decision.
Yeah. But, like, I feel like Germans feel like they're better than us with this movie because they do have this all this Hydra technology. Do you feel like they're better than us? I don't know.
In the film, of course, they think they're better. The Nazis think they're better than us. They're Nazis.
The scientists I don't know how much Nazi they are. I just think they're really being. I think they're a little Jewy.
They're Nazis. If you work with Nazis, you're a Nazi. What are you talking about?
If you're forced, though, my
Who
man that
forced
escaped.
him? Nobody forced him.
The guy that escaped, he was working for the Nazis, but he escaped. I mean, like, don't label me a Nazi because my life's in danger.
No. He was a German scientist who they forced to do shit for him.
Again.
The people who are in Hydra are fucking Hydra people. Those aren't the same. So, that's why they made a distinction with the guy that they caught.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So what's the other professor's name? The other guy's name? Oh man, he has a place in this universe. Oh shit.
The one that they caught.
The one they caught. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Glasses.
What about
and my man did the switch up real quick. He was like, "Hail Hydra!" That shit was hilarious, yo. After my man killed the Nazis, after Red Skull vaporized the Nazis, my man said, "Hail Hydra!" real quick. He's like, I ain't catching them things. That shit was crazy. And first of all, I feel like the Hail Hydra fucking like arm shit is over. It's way it's too much. It's too much. I'd be like, come on, Skull, can we do something else? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what the Nazis did. They did sick
even the Black Power Fist. I mean, what I'm saying, he did a double fist though. I mean, even the Black Power Fist would have been cool. I mean, it would have been fucked up for us later. But I mean, if they just did, Hail Hydra and just did one fist up, that should be all right. I just feel like it's real extra. You can't hold a gun like that. You can still hold your gun if you're doing a little ZK shit, like, the Nazis did. You can't hold shit. I'm being disrespectful to Red Skull because I said Hail Hydra and I thought I dropped my gun?
Yeah, you're being disrespectful.
I don't know. I didn't get that.
Evaporated.
Yeah, damn right.
Mike, any little things you want to talk about from the film that stood out?
Big Mike.
I think that about covers it.
Big Mike?
Yeah, I think that's about it. I liked it as a whole. I think it was for what it was. I think it was a good film. But yeah, I thought.
I'm not even gonna say that. I thought it was a good film. Like to this day,
it was a good film. Yeah.
To this day, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's still at 80%. Like right now, it's at 80%.
It's enjoyable. It was definitely enjoyable too.
It was a well done film. It was definitely not their best film, but it was far from the worst film, and far from a bad film. How did you
guys feel about Howard Stark, though?
I love Howard Stark. If you guys like Howard Stark, you would love Agent Carter. He's all over Agent Carter.
Okay.
He's great.
Is that why we don't really get a lot of him? Like, we didn't really get much of Howard in Iron Man 1 other than Tony paying homage to him and then kind of really having some like pent up hatred towards him a little bit, but really still admiring him.
He's a dick, first and foremost. He's kind of like a mix between like Albert Einstein and Hugh Hefner.
This is true.
He's like this really genius fucking dick. So he, in the Agent Carter show, he's like always have like mad women around, and he's still trying to fuck Peggy Carter, but then they just become friends. But she doesn't want to deal with his bullshit. But he's still like creating shit and always making shit. So I think in hindsight, I think they did a good job of just introducing the character. But the movie wasn't about Howard Stark. He was just a supporting character. So I don't think they should have got too much into him, given the fact that it was a Captain America movie.
Do you guys watch Avengers Assemble: The Secret Wars? It's out. It's on Disney XD. It's really good. It's a really well done series. That shows the Avengers and stuff like that. That it actually shows the new Avengers, where Black Panther's the leader and stuff like that. So it's cool. Check it out. It's on Disney XD. I like it.
So,
very enjoyable.
Mike, you brought up the ending, which I thought was perfectly plausible and made sense. But you ignored the actual implausible stuff. Like, Captain America would never go rogue in the real military. Like, at no point would he just be like, I'm about to take this car and I'm about to go get these people. Like, that wouldn't happen.
Right.
In the real
in Civil
military.
War, he goes rogue.
There wasn't the military in Civil War.
Yo, but another thing, like, he read just reading military books doesn't make you a military
in the military is not the same. He was in the U.S. Army in this film.
Yeah.
In Civil War, he's in S.H.I.E.L.D. Those are not the same. He basically said, and then he came back and he was like, I'll take my punishment. And Homeboy was like, nah, you good, buddy.
Tommy Lee, yeah. Tommy Lee wanted to get his ass so bad, but like his good more outweighed the bad. Like he did more good than bad. Listen. Peggy Carter was there. So what is Peggy Carter in this? Because like I feel like she was out here fucking over Tommy Lee and shit.
No, Peggy Carter is an SSA agent, which was the precursor to S.H.I.E.L.D. And they work with the military.
They got more jurisdiction. I feel like they got more jurisdiction.
No. They're like the scientific. They're like a scientific contractor that works with the like scientific agency that provides weapons and cool gadgets for the military at the time. So, and she's an agent of that, which later became the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which she was basically the person that created. So she's the only woman in the Howling Commandos. Essentially, she's part of the Howling Commandos team, and she's basically a fucking badass, which they kind of allude to a little bit in the film of her being a kind of a badass.
How's she getting everywhere though? All I'm saying is she gotta have some type of clearance. She going all these secret missions.
Yeah, she's a spy.
But I feel like she got some goddamn like some clearance, some like over Tommy Lee at this point though.
No, she's not in charge of them.
She's just showing up and shit. No, she's not in charge of nothing. But I feel like she got to say so. Be like, my man Steve, he doing what the fuck he want to. It's all right,
in the show, they go into it a little bit more, and they talk about like the gender dynamic and how like all these dudes, even as accomplished as she is. So basically, in Agent Carter, everything that we saw in this film happened. So in Agent Carter, this is after all that. So even after everything that she did in this film, she comes back, and these dudes are still like, you need to go sit at a desk and answer these phones because you can't do shit. And she's like, "What the fuck are you like? What are you talking about? Like I was fighting with Captain America. I was fucking people up. Like what are you talking about?" And so the whole show is basically her trying to figure shit out, and all these fucking dudes are questioning her and not thinking she can do shit, and it's fucking great. We also got a first appearance of Black Panther. I think the first appearance of Black Widow. I don't know if we see her in Iron Man or...
She's in Iron Man 2, first appearance.
Iron Man 2 came out after this, though, so...
After what?
She was in this film. What are you talking about?
Who?
Black Widow.
Was not in the first Avenger.
No. Black Widow was in first Avengers. What are you talking about?
No, she was not.
I'm confused. How Black Widow get in this movie and where is she at?
Are you sure?
Yes, where?
I'm pretty sure that woman at the end of the movie
that is not her.
Was her.
That's not her.
I don't think it's her.
It wasn't Scarlett Johansson.
Could have been Black Widow, but it wasn't Scarlett Johansson.
They would have had to note that. There's no notion of that.
Maybe you're right.
Because I was nervous. I was like, "What? Did I miss something? Damn it!" I gotta stay for these end credits, man. Because I just be like, "Fuck it."
The end credits scene is basically just an ode to the Avengers. So basically, Nick Fury's like
basically Avengers trailer.
Yeah, Nick Fury's basically like, we got a mission to save the world or whatever. So they go and save the world. Also, it's kind of fucked up putting them in that room. And
that shit was in the way, yo. I would have been mad too, though. Like, real talk. I was at that game. Like, what, bitch?
Cap thought he was. Hey, Devin, what was that movie with Jim Carrey where he was inside like a TV show?
The Truman Show.
Truman Show. Yeah, Cap was basically in the Truman Show, and that fucking that end scene there. What else did I have? Haley and Chris had great chemistry together. Like they're fucking great.
Yeah.
They did a good job of building up anticipation to see Schmidt's face, Red Skull's face. So, like, they were always doing those scenes of, like, him in the dark, or they had the scene where the guy was painting a portrait at him, and then they showed you the red paint, but they didn't show his face or the picture. Mm-hmm. So, like, they did a great job kind of building up anticipation for people who didn't really know what the Red Skull looked like, to kind of be that oh shit moment when he fucking rips his face off.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I found the nurse. Her name is Amanda Rigetti, not Scarlett Johansson. Not Black Widow.
Yes, we already established that.
I know, but I just confirmed it.
But we established it, so fuck you. They did reference Odin in the movie, so
Yes.
Red Skull said that like this was one of Odin's prized possessions. This is in lore. This is in Odin's prized collection or something like that in the beginning of the movie when he gets the cosmic cube from that wall or from that whatever that building was.
Is Odin leaving though? My man Odin really fucked with fucking Switzerland or Norway so bad that he out here leaving all these gems and all these goddamn fucking trails for these people. They're
Norse gods. They're they're Norse gods. So like you know how they have Greek gods.
Right.
Thor and Odin and Loki. Those are Norse gods. Those are like Norse mythology.
So they still in Norway though. I mean, I saw that in Ragnarok, but I mean, like, yo, like, don't be leaving your shit there, bro. Like, take that shit with you. Like,
I don't know if he left it there. Like, I guess we'll see when we watch Thor. I don't remember Thor, the first movie. But I don't think he left it there. I think something happened to why it was
man,
there.
it was in a tomb. Like, I mean, whose tomb was that? Was that King Arthur? Whose fucking tomb was that? With the dude?
Was. I missed that. So I don't remember. I said I forgot how much I love Howard Stark.
Yo, you got to watch this episode. Yeah, man. Like the latest episode of Avengers Assemble Secret Wars is essentially this episode. But Howard and Peggy are trying to save Cap and Tony from being erased from time. It got Krang in it. And the Kree and all that other shit. So, like, it's good, man. Check it out.
Yeah. Also, the one last thing I guess I'll say is the super soldier serum. They did a good job of, like, showing how rare that is and, like, how Cap is kind of, like, 1 in a billion for that shit to work perfectly. And in the comic books, they've tried it on other people, and it never really worked in that way. So I think they did a good job with that. In the film as well. You guys got anything else about this film?
Nope. Haley Atwell can get it.
Haley Atwell is unbelievable in every way. Acting, she's beautiful. She knows how to play a badass. Everything. She's the best. Love her. Devin, anything?
No, man, it was great, man. And I enjoyed going back in time.
Cool. So we will be back with another Road to Infinity War next week. We'll be doing Iron Man. So each week leading up to Infinity War, we will be reviewing these movies in order. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our show on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Leave us a 5-star review. And check us out. It helps us out a lot. And share the podcast to your friends. Talk to you later.